Annyeong, it's Mikey here, and today we're coming back with another Hall Effect switch. This time we have to thank TTC. Now, TTC actually sent me out the horse switches, and they actually told me I didn't have to make a video on this. They just wanted me to test it out and see what it was like, so I actually ended up buying a little bit more because the special package they sent me only had about 15 in there, so I just needed a little bit more to really do a sound test. We're gonna have to see what this is like, and of course put it into the spreadsheet and really think about how is it different than other switches and is it any good. So let's go straight into doing the sound test, but please make sure to like and subscribe.
Now introducing the TTC Horse. Now you can see right here, they actually sent me the special packaging version, which looks very nice in terms of the box wise, but once you open it up, I'm gonna be honest with you, for a so-called special packaging, it's really not gonna be that nice. It kind of feels a little bit lazy in a way, the way it was done. I honestly expected a little bit better. Now, in terms of the switch, I don't really have information in terms of the size or like the materials, but we can see it's a very expensive switch, so let's hear it. Honestly, the sound wise, it was very nice. It had like this deep poppiness to it and not really bad, but there was something I noticed about the switch that kind of threw me off. In certain keys, you can actually hear it a bit too high. And it's weird. Because the switch itself should be pretty deep, but for some reason it had that in certain areas, kind of like when you have a mechanical switch that isn't seated properly. Now in terms of the treble, so we started at 15.4 going down to 11.9, we get 3.5 millimeters treble. So they say 3.45, which is actually a little bit awkward in terms of a number, so we're measuring it around 3.5 millimeters. This switch is going to be a very expensive switch, so keep in mind everyone that you're almost paying about, actually you will be paying $2 per switch, which is definitely an expensive switch. I know that some switches out there nowadays are kind of going for that price. Like I know even, for example, the Wuchi Studio ones were going like that price. It's way too expensive for a switch, and that's just my honest opinion. Now this is measuring for the single stage spring at 20 millimeters, and overall the switch doesn't feel like a mechanical switch in terms of the feel of it, but the sound wise, with the closed bottom housing, and even though the actual stem itself is not closed, it's still performing really well. Like the sound wise and everything, the sound of the Switch was incredibly nice. Like it had a slight poppiness to it, but at the same time, it was still very deep. This is also a very unique style of stem. You can see here, it's like more of a box stem even on the bottom. So even though there's a magnet in the bottom, my apologies that the focus is having a bit of a hard time, but you can really see that this style of switch is very, very unique on its own. It's completely different, and I kind of see why the pricing is so high. Chances are they had to do a brand new mold, and lubing wise, there is lube on all sides. I would say that this switch would probably do well with actual hand lubing to them, most likely the springs specifically, because there was a bit of a scratchiness to them in general stock wise, but overall they still had a very nice deep sound to it. The new molding is probably going to be why they priced it so expensive. It is quite expensive, and chances are, like with the whole cost of the switch, is why they priced it. But I think even at that point, they didn't need to price it so high. But with so much competition going out there, there's a chance that they consider that the sales wouldn't be very high on this switch, which is why the pricing was a bit higher. And then you see the prices drop over time. I honestly don't think that's going to be the best way to go about it. I would really love to see TTC start to drop their prices a lot more, even to the under dollar portion. Now, you can really see here with the sound test. So even though the sound test was a bit louder, actual loudness of these switches is not that high. It's actually going to be sitting around the 60 decibel point, so you're really looking at more of like a conversation that's happening beside you, so not very, very loud at all. Now, in terms of how it feels, so the actuation wise, as well as the spring and how light it is, it's very light. You don't actually have any pressure at the top end when you're actually pressing down at the top portion, and then it just goes down all the way. So if you do rest your fingers on the keys, just chances are you might accidentally press something at 0.1 millimeters. Now, the top side, you don't really get much rattle. The circular stem does help a lot, and on the bottom as well, very little and no stem wobble at all. Now, in terms of the lighting, this is at 10%, and then you see from 10% we're going to go to 50%, and then 50% all the way to the tachyon mode on Wooting, which is about 70-75%. Overall, going to even 100, the switch is decently bright, but it's not going to be as bright as a lot of the other Holofix switches. And then if you get the red colored stuff with the switch housing, you're going to get a bit of that color change with the switch. So keep in mind, if you do want nice colors and accurate colors, you're going to want to get the white one out of all of them. Overall though, it does measure a pretty deep sounding, and in general, most Holofix switches are towards the deep side because that is what's popular. The Thocky sound signature is a popular one, and I think one of the things that is really nice about this is that it does have a very deep poppy sound to it, which people might enjoy. I think something that's not like just thuddy and muted or mushy, but this one actually has a little bit more character to it. The thing is though, it's just too pricey. Like that's my biggest thing about this, is that the price is not justifiable at the moment, and I really want to see TTC bring it down.
Now, my thoughts on the TTC Horse is that they actually did make it sound like clip clopping. I was quite impressed with it. Very surprising. I think a lot of the Holofix switches are getting a lot better lately, and these ones definitely have that like nice sound. I would actually say that these switches do sound really, really nice. It is expensive though. I really do wish a lot of these brands would kind of bring down the price. I think Holofix switches are just too expensive. We really should be seeing switches under $1. Over $1 is just, I feel like, insane. Really, I hope brands really see this and really think about reducing the prices of these. Just because people are willing to spend doesn't mean that it should be the pricing that is set. I really think that with the economy how it is and everything going on right now, it would be much appreciated if brands started to really cut costs so that people can get more affordable switches. I'll have the links in the description for these ones. You can go check it out for yourselves, but please check out the other videos I got, and I'll have to catch you guys next time.